Запись поступила, можно начинать, кто все микрофон.
Okay, let's start. Dear colleagues, I would like to ask you to edit your cameras during all the process of defense. Mr. Jabbar, Dr. Jabbar. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, dear members of the Dissertation Council. Today we have gathered to discuss the defense of the dissertation work of Kенжеәлі Еркежан Алтайқызы on the title The Impact of Gender Stereotypes on the Formation of the Labor Market in Kazakhstan, Theory, Assessment and Development Scenarios. Prepared for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in the specialty AT04101 Economics. By the order of the rector dated September 9th, 2024, number 07106-301, the permanent composition of the Dissertation Council in the field of study AT041 Business and Management was approved, consisting of 4 members. Based on the decision of the Academic Council of the University, in accordance with Protocol number 5, dated October 15, 2025, the temporary composition of the Dissertation Council of the Kенжеәлі International Business University was approved for the field of sciences, business and management, and let us begin by reviewing the permanent composition. Actually, the chairperson of the temporary composition, Kirieva, leading researcher of the Institute of Economics on the Committee of Science of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan, associate professor, candidate of economic science. Kirieva Anela Khmetovna is supervisor of the dissertant. That's why today I will be on the role of chairperson. Then my name is Kwanova Laura Ivolna. I'm deputy chairperson, head of the Department of Training and Certification of Scientific Personnel of the Department of Scientific and Innovative Activities at Al-Farabi Kazakh National University, PhD in Finance. Academic Secretary, Viktorganova Mahpal Satikulовna, leading researcher of the Institute of Economics, of the Committee of Science of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan, PhD in Economics. And Nurgaliyeva Khuralay Orzghaliyevna, Vice Rector of Science at the University of International Business, named after Kенжеәлі Sakadiyev, candidate of Economic Science, Associate Professor. And for today, temporary members of the Dissertation Council are Jabbar Jabbar Yulhaq, University of Sargodha, Pakistan, Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Spankulova Lizat Kazina, Kazakh National University, Al-Farabi, PhD, Associate Professor. Yeah. Doctor of Economics. Professor. Ispanova Dinara Dovrimbekovna, Almaty Humanitarian Economic University, Almaty, Kazakhstan, candidate of Economics, Associate Professor. According to the attendance list of the 7 members of the Dissertation Council, there is a quorum. All seven members are here. I have to declare the Dissertation Council meeting is open. Today on the agenda is the defense of the dissertation work by Kенжеәлі, Еркежан, Алтайқызы on the title of the impact of gender stereotypes on the formation of the labor market in Kazakhstan, theory, assessment and development scenarios as per educational program AD04101 Economics. The dissertation is submitted for the first time. Domestic scientific consultant, candidate of economics, associate professor, Kireeva Anna Ahmedovna. Foreign scientific consultant, PhD, professor, dean of the Doctoral School of Regional Studies and Business Administration, Laszlo Vasa. Защита University. Official reviewers for today are Bordiano Ilona Vladimirovna, PhD, head of the Department of Business, Kazakh American Free University, Uсть-Каменогорск, Kazakhstan, and Sigidala Nagima, PhD, associate professor, Narcos University, Almaty, Kazakhstan. Both of you reviewers today at the meeting. And domestic scientific consultant is present. Positive reviews from domestic and foreign scientific consultants are available, and official reviewers are present also. Do the dissertation council members have any comments to today's agenda? If you have questions, you can tell us. Okay. If everything is good, no comments, there is a proposal to approve the agenda. Do you have any objections? Okay, if not, the agenda is approved. The floor is given to the Scientific Secretary of the Dissertation Council, PhD Associate Professor, Viktorkanova Mahpal Satikulovna, to present information about the doctoral student and the main content of the document submitted by this PhD candidate and their compliance with the requirements established by the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan.
Thank you, Laura Ivanovna. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, Kенжеәлі Еркежан Алтайқызы, a citizen of the Republic of Kazakhstan, was born in 1997. She graduated from the Al-Farabi Specialized Gymnasium for Gifted Children with a trilingual education with the highest distinction, Алтын белгі. From 2015 to 2019, she studied in a double degree bachelor's program at the Kazakh National Technical University, at the University of London, earning a Bachelor of Science in Economics and Business from KBTU and a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Economics from the University of London, graduating with second class honors upper division. From 2020 to 2022, she completed a master's degree in finance at the Kazakh British Technical University, graduating with distinction. From 2022 to 2025, she pursued doctoral studies at the University of International Business, named after Kенжеәлі under the educational program AD04101 Economics. She began her professional career in 2019 as a junior specialist at Kaspi Bank, later worked as an associate at PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP 2021 to 2022. Her academic background includes work as a lecturer at the PIFE University 2018 to 2021 and as a research assistant at Kazakh British Technical University. The dissertation work of Kенжеәлі Еркежан Алтайқызы on the topic the impact of gender stereotypes on the formation of the labor market in Kazakhstan, theory, assessment and development scenarios was completed at the Department of Finance and Accounting of the University of International Business, named after Kенжеәлі. The dissertation topic was approved at the meeting of the Academic Council of the University in accordance with number 115 OP dated October 22, 2022, and number 3 dated October 21, 2022 on the approval of dissertation topics and supervisors of doctoral studies as amended by Order 355 OP dated May 31, 2023, number 12 dated May 26, 2023, and the decision of the Academic Council, number 12 dated May 26, 2025. As a part of the doctoral program, Kенжеәлі Еркежан Алтайқызы completed an international research internship at Eastern University, Hungary, from April 15 to May 19, 2025, and gaining international research experience in the field of gender, economics, and labor market analysis. Based on the results of her dissertation research, 9 scientific papers were published, including 1 article in a Scopus Indexed Journal, Problems and Perspectives in Management, percentile 85. Additionally, 6 articles in journals recommended by the Committee for Quality Assurance in the Field of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan, and 2 papers in the proceedings of international scientific and practical conferences. The results of the dissertation research were completed in the Institute of Economics of the Science Committee of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Implementation Act, Project IRN IP 2278 4063, and in the Public Foundation Women Asia, Implementation Act number WA 103 dated September 10, 2025. All necessary documents for the dissertation defense have been submitted to the Dissertation Council, including reviews of domestic and foreign scientific supervisors, a positive conclusion of the extended meeting of the Department of Finance and Accounting, the dissertation in hard copy and electronic format, abstracts in Kazakh, Russian, English, summarizing the research topic, objectives, methods, findings, and scientific contribution, a list of scientific works and their copies, the conclusion of the Ethical Commission confirming compliance with the research ethics and absence of violations during the research process. In the personal file of the applicant, there are all necessary documents submitted in accordance with the regulation of the Committee for Quality Assurance in the Field of Education and Science of the Ministry of Education and Science of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The submitted materials meet the established requirements for the preparation of the dissertation for the defense of the Committee for Quality Assurance in the Field of Education and Science of the Ministry of Education and Science of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Defense is allowed. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for so long explanation in the presentation of the PhD candidate. Do you have any questions, dear members, maybe reviewers, regarding personal file of the applicant? Do you have? No? If not, please, the floor is given to the applicant for the presentation of the main content of the dissertation work. Please remember that you have a time limit of 20 minutes.
So, good afternoon, dear committee members. My name is Kенжеәлі Алтайқызы, and today I'm going to present dissertation work on the topic The Impact of Gender Stereotypes on the Formation of the Labor Market in Kazakhstan, Theory, Assessment and Development Scenarios. The relevance of the research is determined by a combination of structural, socioeconomic and institutional factors that directly influence the development trajectory of Kazakhstan. As the country continues its transition to diversified market economy, efficiency use of labor exists. This imbalance translates into measurable economic loss. Gender wake up persists even in comparable position. Gender stereotypes are deeply rooted in how employers and society see female labor. They limit women's careers and reinforce the idea of double employment. Given that Kazakhstan's strategic documents, including the family and gender concept, emphasize the need to integrate women into innovation-driven sector, understanding how gender stereotypes shape this outcome becomes not only socially important but economically urgent. The object of my research is women as socio-economic group in the labor market. Subject of the research, socio-economic conditions and mechanisms of influence gender stereotypes on the formation and development of the labor market. The purpose of the dissertation is a theoretical and methodological substantiation of the influence of gender stereotypes on the formation of the labor market of Kazakhstan, as well as development of directions and scenarios for its development in the context of ensuring equal employment opportunity. The objectives of the study to assess the current situation, develop economic and mathematical model, analyze the possibility of regulating gender stereotypes. Also, determine the main direction of influence of gender stereotypes, develop scenarios, and propose ways to solve gender stereotypes in the labor market. The scientific novelty lies on the 5 main points. So here, first, it applies integrated methodology, combining principal concept analysis, cluster analysis, and decision tree modeling. Second, through scenario analysis using variety regression and ANOVA, the study identifies nonlinear and threshold effects of the female employment. Third, it introduced institutional model, the gender pathway model, which adopts global theories like pipeline and class escalator. Fourth, the research systemizes the impact of stereotypes across 3 levels: education, employment quality, and economic value of labor. And fifth, practical regulation mechanisms that have been developed, scenarios, introduction of the gender pay gap index. The main provisions are as follows. First, the author's interpretation of the gender stereotypes defines them as perceptions, goals, and behaviors shaped by social norms and rules associated with gender, which are modified to varying degrees depending on the extent and depth of the social transformation. Second, analytical matrices presented in a structured form demonstrate the difference between countries in legislative measure, cultural norm, and effectiveness of the policy. Third, multi-level approach to the study of gender stereotypes in the labor market based on the integration macro, meso, micro, and intraphysic level of the analysis. Fourth, gender pathway model as an institutional model of reproduction of the gender behavior constraint adapted to the socio-economic and cultural condition. And finally, a roadmap of practical implementation was developed, aimed at reducing the impact of gender stereotypes through coordinated measure in state institutions. So here, first provision presents the interpretation of the gender stereotypes as perception, goal setting, and behavior shaped by accepted social norm and gender expectation. The foundation begins with the central bank theory, which explains how individuals internalize gender as male and female. Building on this, the two-dimensional model of stereotypes developed by Fiske, Kadi, and Glick introduced the dimension of competence and awareness. This explains why women are often perceived as kind but less competent. First, there is a theory of ambivalent sexism proposed a crucial psychological dimension. It highlights the existence of hostile and benevolent attitude. While benevolent sexism idealizes women as caring and moral, but simultaneously restrict their professional autonomy. Next, Judith Butler's theory of performativity focuses on from cognition to culture. So he argues that it's not a biological fact, but repeated social performance. And finally, socialization model grounded in the works Bandura and Eccles show how gender norms are transmitted through family, education, and media. Based on this synthesis, we identified four analytical categories: cognitive, social, professional, and cultural, that together show gender stereotypes are not stable but also adaptive, capable of changing with social transformation. Revision 2 focuses on the analytical matrices that compare how different countries address the gender stereotypes through legislation, cultural norm, and policy measure. Developed nations have equality framework, gender codes, and flexible parental policy. Meanwhile, developing countries face the opposite problem, not lack of law, but weak implementation and deep cultural traditions. In Japan and South Korea, reform focuses on flexible work model and child care support, helping women balance professional and family roles. In the next slide, Revision 4 presents a multi-level approach to studying gender stereotypes in the labor market. At the macro level, gender norms are shaped by institutions, laws, and culture. So here, we should look how society defines the role of men and women. At the meta level, interaction between men and women as a group analyzed. So how they are hiring, promoted, and get leadership positions. At the micro level, gender stereotypes manifest in everyday interpersonal relationship, their communication style, and emotional roles. And interpersonal level reveals on how individuals perceive themselves as gender subject, their self-image, confidence, and inner identity. So multi-level model reveals that stereotypes are not isolated attitudes. It's maintained through institution, reproduced through organization, and internalized by individuals. This slide provides the distributional analysis of women's and men's employment indicator. The distribution is shown for men and women, employment rate, informal sector participation, and excessive working hours. For women, we see that the distribution is right skewed, compressed, and has a polarization. So it means that fewer women reach high values and they are underrepresented or over-concentrated in informal work. Men's distribution differ fundamentally. They are symmetric, have lower instability in informal work and more regular working hours. The distribution by occupational group reflects the difference in the type of employment. Female part of sample is represented in administrative service and trade professions. Women access to highly paid and prestigious jobs is limited. Career advancement is difficult and transition to management categories occurs less frequently. In the next slide, economic and mathematical model designed to trace how and when gender stereotypes reproduced. Self-evaluation is primarily determinant of how soft skills are formed and expressed. It shows that gender soft skills appears not from born but shaped by social norms. The next key variable, school, representing the educational environment, it demonstrates that schools are not neutral space, but they transmit gender expectations through curriculum design, teacher attitude, and peer influence. A third important note is family. It's shape how children perceive appropriate roles for men and women. As we move from note 4 to 9 here, we see the clear improvement in soft skill outcome, higher self-evaluation, better school quality, and more supportive family context. In the next slide shows the form of stereotypes, the empirical manifestation, consequences, and regulatory option. So women's concentration in secondary and unstable form of employment are proven by empirical data, where women constitute for 39% of informal employment compared to 21% of men. As a result, they often lack of access to formal contracts, pensions, and social insurance. To bring this, research proposed several regulatory options like incentive for formalization, social protection instruments for women in transitional sectors. In the next slide, we see the principal component analysis with cluster interpretation and show how gender-related labor market patterns evolved.
By separating years into clusters, we can trace how gender stereotypes in the employment rise, weaken, or transform. For example, instability cluster reveals a period when women were concentrated in informal and low-skilled jobs. So clusters map directly onto observable stereotypes. In the next slide, Provision 4 introduced gender pathway model, an institutional framework that explains how gender stereotypes are reproduced and maintained. The model integrates several well-known international concepts, and the novelty of this model lies on its adaptation to Kazakhstan's context. The model identifies three main directions: education, employment, and economic value of labor. In education, stereotype reproduction occurs through role-based specialization and professional labeling, which narrow girls' specialization options, particularly in leadership and STEM. In employment, stereotypes about as a secondary workforce and the expected primary familial responsibilities lead to the concentration in informal and insecure jobs. Overall, gender pathway model demonstrates that gender inequality is not a product of single factor. It is a result of interconnected social, institutional, and economical mechanisms. This slide presents a baseline scenario which models how the current structure of gender relations affect Kazakhstan's labor market. In this scenario, three hypotheses were tested. Before interpreting the result, the model was verified for statistical reliability. This was multicollinearity. Overall model fit was validated using archaic and Bayesian information criteria, and Turing Watson test showed no autocorrelation. So first model evaluates the impact of the women's formal employment in quadratic effect and women's employment. It's not simply women's participation matters, but specifically the integration onto in the formal and skilled segments. Second, informal employment excessive working hours among women were found to have negative and significant effect. The baseline scenario shows that women's formal employment has a positive impact on the economy, while informal employment has a negative effect. This model demonstrates that without institutional reform, the labor market continues to reproduce existing disparities. Women work a lot, but mostly in informal and low-paid segments. In the next slide, the reform scenario was presented. This analysis used quadratic regression and scenario modeling. On the left-hand side, female employment and unemployment reduction we see, as a result, GDP rises steadily. This demonstrates that even small shifts in employment participation produce measurable positive macroeconomic effect. On the middle, hypothesis 2 is shown. The graph for informal employment and excessive working hours. When informal jobs and overwork decline, the red and green lines trend upward, indicating the formalization and better work-life balance enhance the productivity and stabilize GDP. Finally, the graph on the right relates to hypothesis 3, which models the share of women in managerial and professional roles and reduction of unskilled female labor. So here, curves show that when women move into higher skilled position, GDP increase, reflecting human capital upgrading and innovation effects. This slide presents roadmap, a phased strategy for reducing gender stereotypes across state, institutional, and business level. In the short term, the focus is on transparency and accountability, introducing gender pay-gap index, piloting wage audits, and publishing gender disaggregated labor data. The medium term, 3 to 5 years, focus on institutional change, mandatory wage audits in the public sector, tariff adjustment, and flexible work standards. In the long term, 5 to 10 years, the goal is sustainability, integrating equality indicators into major national programs like Kazakhstan 2050 and Gender Policy 2030. Overall, a roadmap forms a comprehensive regulatory system that aligns economic incentives, labor standards, and national development goals. So to conclude, first, the gender situation in the Kazakhstan labor market was analyzed using a comprehensive set of quantitative methods. That score standardization, distributional diagnostic, Pareto analysis, principal component analysis and cluster analysis were applied. Second, an economic and mathematical model of gender stratification was developed. Quadratic regression, ANOVA, AKI, and the Bayesian selections the Zerbian-Watson test and flat plot diagnostics were employed. Third, regulatory feasibility were examined through institutional comparison matrices, international benchmark, and scenario simulations. Fourth, the main direction of stereotypes influence were identified using gender pathway model. Fifth, 3 development scenarios were formulated based on principal component analysis and regression coefficients. These scenarios demonstrate how changes in formal employment, informality, excessive working hours, and occupational structure may affect GDP. And finally, practical roadmap was proposed, integrating measures for government institutions, the education system, and business sector. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation. The report is over. And now, if you have any questions to applicant, you're welcome. Let's first of all to ask the questions, and then we'll give the floor to the supervisors. Our committee who is connected online, you're welcome also to ask the questions.
Здравствуйте. Можно я рассказала? При моделировании вы закладывали демографический фактор? Если закладывали, то какие последствия ожидаются в прогнозировании?
You're welcome. As much as we answer the candidate, as more we will know about the title, about the. Okay, if nobody don't like to ask the questions, I'd like to ask the first question. I looked through your proposed gender pathways model and didn't find anything about the problem that women work triple more than men, unpaid work, like in family, in society, at home, and so on. Did you consider this factor? And also, could you please tell us what kind of international models or maybe international experience of other countries which are successful have been used in your thesis? And my third question is about directly about stereotypes in Kazakhstan about women. Do you have any decision? Do you have any decision and any recommendations for Kazakhstan according our mentality about the play of women in society, in family? Thank you.
У меня есть уточняющий вопрос. Рисунок D1, аппендикс D. Рисунок D1. Поясните, пожалуйста, вот варианты ответов, начиная с пятой переменной, они все одинаковые, да? И вот что означает вот, вы отдельно для школьников, для университета, для разных групп, там, для предпринимателей задаете вопросы, а у них ответы одни и те же. С чем это связано? Не могли бы вы пояснить суть этих вопросов, которые были им заданы при анкетировании?
Okay, dear members, you are welcome. Only 5 questions have been given to the applicant.
Еще вот по рисунку F1. List of indicators. Тут написано. Поясните, пожалуйста, здесь вот есть описание каждой переменной, да, как я поняла, вот эти 22 переменных вы перечисляете. Тут, допустим, одна и та же переменная идет с двумя индексами. Индекс 1, индекс 2. Не могли бы вы вот их пояснить? Почему вот одна и та же переменная индексируется 2 раза? Может быть, это для разных групп одна и та же переменная.
Dear Dr. Jabbar, do you have any questions to applicant? You are welcome. Ilona Vladimirovna, you are welcome. Very welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me first. And I have first question from scholar. So women's distribution show polarization, right? So especially in informal employment. So
Excuse me,
is it due to structural constraints or standardization? Should I say something?
Sorry, Professor Jabbar, here we cannot hear your voice. Could you turn on the microphone?
Okay. I'm sending my questions in chat, right? So it will be easier for the scholar. Just hold on.
Excuse me, Dr. Jabbar. Please turn on your microphone.
It seems to us that we have some technical problems. Could we try again?
Dr. Jabbar, please
Yes.
Please turn on your microphone.
Are you hearing me? My first question is about the polarization, especially in informal employment. Can you read this one?
We don't hear you. Dr. Mahmoud, do you have any questions?
Можно, да, на русском?
Can you read this question? I just sent you in message chat.
Разработан данный анализ. Вы можете здесь пояснить, какие входные и выходные данные вы получили? И так. Насчет вот карты реализации комплекса мер по снижению влияния тоже можно будет разъяснить? Спасибо.
Okay.
Написал в чате.
Dr.
Jakar's question of women's distribution show polarization, especially in informal employment and excessive hours. How do you know this reflects real structural concentrates and not an artifact of sample size of standardization? Успели, да, Еркежан? Еще раз, да? Women's distributions show polarization, especially in informal employment and excessive hours. How do you know this reflects real structural concentrates and not an artifact of sample size of standardization? Second question. Why did you use that score standardization of raw values? And how does this choice influence the interpretation of standardization?
Thank you. Dr. Jafar, could you please try to solve the problem?
No.
Okay, thank you very much, dear committee members, dear reviewers. Еркежан, Алтайқызы, are all questions clear?
Yes.
Okay, do you have time for preparing? Okay, thank you very much for all committee members. And while applicant is getting ready to answer the questions, let's hear opinion of the domestic consultant, candidate of economics, associate professor of the Institute of Economics of the Committee of Science of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of Republic of Kazakhstan, Kirieva Anelya Ahmedovna.
Okay, thank you. Dear members and dissertation council, I would like to thank you for your attention that you're coming here. I'm really glad to see you today. And I would like to present for you my review about the PhD dissertation of Еркежан Кенжеәлі, titled The Impact of Gender Stereotypes on the Formation of the Labor Market in Kazakhstan. I think the dissertation is full and it completed under my supervision, and the research was focused on the important and essential topic about the gender policy and how the gender stereotypes impact on the employment, on the business structure, on the career opportunity, and different types of the structure of the labor market in Kazakhstan. This topic is really relevant and high qualified, I think, and these gender stereotypes is affect on the women's and men's career achievement. And this topic is important for both of the gender, for men and women, and for equal work and the career goals. I think the dissertation is well structured. The first part, the PhD dissertations concentrate about the national and international studies which explain how gender stereotypes shape the labor market behavior.
On the second part, she analyzed the situation in Kazakhstan about how the difference between the women and men in the career achievement, in the occupational segregation, wage gap, representation in the managerial roles, and she also applies how economic model they measure and assess how the strongest stereotypes affect on different types of the labor market. On the third part, the Yerkejan tried to propose the scenario of the future development of the labor market, and she tried to suggest some of the different types of the practical recommendations and how to reduce inequality and improve the opportunity for everyone. I think the dissertation of my PhD student is really strong. She represents with high analytical skills and the ability to work with high quantitative and quality data. As his scientific supervisor, I can confirm that she approaches and the research with improving the quality and dissertation based on feedback and guidance. And I think her findings is really valuable for policy makers, for the state institutions, for the university and employees. The results of this research can help to design better gender policy, support equal the voice of the part. For example, we speak about the women and men and their career achievement, and of course about the labor market. Yerkejan also showed active participation in different scientific research projects, international projects. She published 9 scientific papers, 10 papers in the international conference, and also including 1 high-ranked Scopus journal Q1, which confirmed her research potential in the scientific sphere. Overall, the dissertation is clear, logical, scientific, sound. It meets all requirements for PhD thesis. The work has a theoretical and practical importance. I believe that the Erkежан Kенжеәлі dissertation fully meets the standards of PhD degree of economic and can be recommended for the public defense. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Anna Ahmedovna. As today our foreign supervisor is not with us, the review foreign supervisor will read Mahfal Safikullu, the academic secretary of the dissertation consult, please.
Thank you. Review of foreign consultant for the impact of gender stereotypes on the formation of the labor market in Kazakhstan theory, assessment and development scenarios. Dissertation of Erkежан Kенжеәлі presented for PhD degree 8D04-101 economics. The work of Erkежан Kенжеәлі is dedicated to one of the urgent problems of recent labor economics, the effect of gender stereotypes often they shape the activity of labor market in the Republic of Kazakhstan. The study is very timely, dealing with the interaction of social, cultural, and economic mechanisms, and makes a great contribution towards the analysis of gender inequality in the workplace. The dissertation offers a comprehensive theoretical framework combining insights from labor market segmentation theory, institutional economics, and gender studies. This interdisciplinary approach enriches the analysis and situates the work within broader international scholarship. Importantly, the focus on Kazakhstan adds originality and provides valuable empirical evidence from a country that is really examined in this field, thereby filling a gap in the literature. A notable contribution of the dissertation is the author's conceptualization of gender stereotypes as structural constraints on labor market development. Yerkejan develops an innovative model to assess how stereotypes shape occupational segregation and nuances. The practical value of the dissertation is significant. The results can inform policy decisions in labor market regulation, education, and corporate governance, particularly in the context of ECG transformation, sustainable development. The author's recommendations provide actionable strategies for us. The study advances the academic discussion on gender and labor markets while offering concrete recommendations for policymakers and practitioners. I believe that the presented dissertation of Erkежан, the impact of gender stereotypes on the formation of the labor market in Kazakhstan, theory, assessment, and development scenarios to obtain PhD degree in 8D04101 economics is written at a good scientific and theoretical level. The dissertation demonstrates the author's ability to conduct independent research, critically analyze theoretical concepts, and apply advanced methodological approaches to the study of gender stereotypes in the labor market. The requirements of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan for the publication activity of doctoral students have been fully met. On this basis, the dissertation of Еркежан can be recommended for defense. Budapest, 15 September 2025, foreign consultant, Professor Laszlo Vase, PhD, full Professor, Dean, Doctoral School of Regional Sciences and Business Administration, István University, Hungary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahal Sadikovna. Dear applicant, do you have any comments or answer to the reviewers? Okay, thank you. If there are no any questions, we can turn to the next step of our defense. The floor is given to the first official reviewer, PhD, head of the Department of Business, Kazakh American Free University, Ilona Vladimirovna. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Chairman of the Dissertation Council, members of the Dissertation Council, doctoral candidate. I would like to thank you for the invitation to act as an official reviewer and to wish you good work. Please let me to present a review of the dissertation of Kенjeәлі Еркежан Алтайқызы on the topic the impact of gender stereotypes on the formation of the labor market in Kazakhstan. Their assessment and development scenarios for the degree of doctoral philosophy on the educational program AD04101 economics. The review is published on the website and consists of 12 pages. Therefore, I would like to share my opinion on each criterion briefly. Criterion number 1. The topic of the dissertation as of the date of its approval corresponds to the directions of scientific development and of state programs. The dissertation corresponds to the main priorities of state policy and strategic documents of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The dissertation was carried out within the framework of the grant project IRNAP 227840063, development of strategic directions for expanding opportunities and access of women to quality employment in Kazakhstan. Funding from the state by the Committee of Science of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Criterion number 2, importance for science. The work does make a significant contribution to science and its importance is well disclosed. The discussion is characterized by its relevance and research depth contributes to a deeper understanding of the impact of gender stereotypes on employment processes and can be used for future studies of labor market issues and the improvement of social policy. Criteria number 3, principle of autonomy. The dissertation work demonstrates a high level of the doctoral candidate's research independence. The author has identified socially significant research problems, substantiated the choice of theoretical and methodological approaches, and conducted comprehensive analysis combining both quantitative and qualitative methods, which ensure the validity and reliability of the finding. Criteria number 4, principle of internal unity. Criteria 4.1, the relevance of the thesis. The dissertation work addresses one of the most pressing socioeconomic issues in contemporary Kazakhstan, to impact of gender stereotypes on the formation and development of the labor market. The relevance of the study is determined by Kazakhstan's strategic priorities in promotion economic growth and strengthening the principle of gender equality. 4.2. The content of the dissertation fully corresponds to its topic and ensures the integrity and scientific completeness of the study. 4.3. The purpose and objectives of the dissertation are fully consistent with the topic of the work, ensuring the methodological integrity, scientific validity, and systematic nature of the presented study. 4.4. All sections and statements of the dissertation are logically interrelated. 4.5. The new solution principles methods proposed by the author are substantiated and evaluated in comparison with known solutions. The dissertation demonstrates a critical analysis, demonstrating the doctoral student's high level of scientific competence. Principles number 5, principle of scientific novelty, 5.1. The research findings presented in this dissertation are significantly innovative and represent the author's independent contribution to the development of economic science and gender studies. 5.2. The dissertation yields results of significant scientific novelty and theoretical value. 5.3. Technical, technological, economic, and management decisions are completely new and justified. The doctoral student developed a system of approaches to analyzing the regulating gender differences in the labor market on combining combinations of quantitative methods and institutional theory. Criteria number 6. Validity of the main conclusions. All key findings are based on sound scientific evidence. The findings are supported by statistical calculating and survey results. Criteria number 7. The main provisions submitted for defense. Proposition number 1. This paper proposes a definition of gender stereotypes as a system of social beliefs and behavioral norms that shape differences in the labor force participants of men and women. Proposition number 2. The doctoral candidate developed a system of analytical tables combining statistical and normative indicators across countries. Proposition number 3. This dissertation proposes an analytical framework that encompasses three levels: national macro, institutional meta, and individual micro. This approach allows for a comprehensive examination of gender differences, identifying the interrelations between economic and social factors. Preposition number 4, the author process an institutional model that describes how gender differences are formed and reinforced at different stages of the educational and professional trajectory. The model demonstrates that inequality doesn't rise at a single level, but is the result of the cumulative impact of social, economic, and organizational factors. Preposition number 5. The author used as narrow methods to assess possible directions of change in the labor market situation. These 3 scenarios have been developed. Each scenario includes a forecast estimate based on statistical data and modeling results. Approach allows the assessment of the consequences of various policy decisions and the identification of the most effective options. Criteria number 8, principle of reliability. The choice of methodology is justified. The research methods were selected in accordance with the objectives and rationality of the study. Scientific, econometric, and sociological methods and analysis were employed. The research was clearly described, ensuring its reproducibility. The choice of methodology was driven by the interdisciplinary nature of the topic, which lies at the intersection of economics, sociology, and gender studies. 8.2. The dissertation utilizes a wide range of modern analytical methods and tools, ensuring the scientific reliability and reproducibility of the results. The author demonstrates a strong command of modern statistical processing and data interpretation, technological, drawing on systems, institutional, and mathematical. Point 3. The empirical basis of the dissertation is based on national statistics and the author's own sociological survey of the university students. This combination of sources allows us to validate the hypothesis and confirm the reliability of the results. 8.4. The dissertation is distinguished by a high level of theoretical development and substantiation of its conclusions. Most key points are supported by references to modern and reliable sources. 8.5. The literature review in this dissertation is distinguished by its depth, breadth of coverage, and analytical nature. Criteria number 9, principle of practical value, 9.1. This dissertation makes a theoretical contribution to the development of the economic gender studies. 9.2, the practical signification lies in the potential application of the obtained results in the development and implementation of public policy in the areas of employment and gender equality. 9.3. The dissertation presents new practical solutions. Criteria number quality of writing and design. Kенжеәлі Еркежан demonstrates confident command of scientific style, clearly formulates concepts, and correctly uses economic and sociological terminology. Criteria number 11, comments on the dissertation. Comments are specific and focus on specific formulation without affecting the content or scientific merits of the dissertation. The style of presentation is consistent with academic traditions and is characterized by clarity and consistency. The review objectively reflects the main finding of the study without excessive value management. Overall, the level of the present work meets the established requirements for PhD dissertations. Criteria number 12, the scientific level of the doctoral students' articles on the research topic. The doctoral student has published 9 research papers, including 1 article in the Scopus Index journal, percentile 85. The topics of the publication are fully consistent with the content of the dissertation research. The published materials reflect both theoretical and applied results of the work, demonstrating its comprehensive nature. The publications presented confirm the validation of the dissertation main provisions and conclusions with the scientific community. Criteria number 13, decision of the official reviewer. Awarding of the degree of doctoral of philosophy in the educational program AD 04101 economics. The dissertation work of Kенжеәлі, Еркежан, Алтайқызы entitled The Impact of Gender Stereotypes on the Formation of the Labor Market in Kazakhstan, Theory, Assessment and Development Scenarios means for requirements for dissertation submitted for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and author this would be awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the educational program AD 04101 Economics. Thank you.
Thank you very much for reviewer, official reviewer, Ivona Vladimirovna. And floor is given to the second official reviewer, PhD, Associate Professor of Narcos University, Sagidullah Naima.
Okay, thank you. The topic is important for Kazakhstan. It matches national programs and goals. The research gives new ideas and new models about gender inequality at work. It uses modern methods. The author worked independently and did full scientific research. The dissertation is logical, clear, and all chapters match the topic. The work has many new scientific results, including a new model, gendered pathways, and new scenarios for improving gender equality. All conclusions are based on real data and official statistics. The methods are correct. All main scientific statements are proven, useful, and new. The author uses modern statistical tools, for example, PCA, regression, cluster analysis. The results can be used by government, business, and education. There is a practical roadmap for reducing gender inequality. The writing is high quality and follow academic standards. The dissertation meets all requirements. The author deserves a PhD degree in economics. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for giving your official review very shortly. And thank you for our both reviewers, to Sagidullah Naima and to Ivona Vladimirovna. Dear Erkежан Алтайқызы, please respond to the comments from official interviewers.
Thank you for your questions. First of all, I'm going to start with the question of Ms. Dinara Davridekovna. Should I answer to the Russian question in Russian or in English?
It depends on you, and it depends also.
Okay, then I'm going to answer in English if you don't mind. So, your question, yes, demographic factor was considered in the regression, but it doesn't include it in final version of the model here because the result was statistically insignificant. So further, for the question of Ms. Laura Ibolovna, first question was proposed gender pathway model about problem women work in triple mortality considers this factor. Yes, we considered this, and in this model, at the level of employment, this double working was considered as a family role. So this gives us work overload in irregular flexible schedule as a motherhood penalty also. So in order to manage, we suggest managing flexibility, equal parental leave, and workload regulation and compensations. So according to the second question, what kind of international experience have been used? So here we considered on Germany, on Germany, Scandinavian countries. So here they use it. Sorry, I have to show here, and I'm still. So okay. Sorry, what's this? So here, for example, in Japan also and Korea, they use the flexible working hours, and in Germany they have wage audits where companies publish the wages in officially, so everyone can see them. And according to the third question, do you have a decision and recommendation for Kazakhstan for mentally and family? So yes, first of all, we suggest the equal parental leave because the overworking and stereotypes appear when women stays at home, double working at home, at work and at home. So that's why this is a crucial point. For the question of Ms. Lizaveta, the figure D1 is a dissertation. It is questions which was questionnaire which was given to the students from the students, and this is not answers which they give, but this is options which they have to choose and assess the ability of soft skills. And according to the second question, a list of indicators appeared twice because one index is used for regression analysis and second is used for principal component analysis when combined with cluster analysis. And according to the question of Ms. Satykovna, which type of data was used in the scenario analysis? So here, for example, as an unemployment rate and share of women in informal sector was used. So here it is also shown in the appendix F1. Then, according to say the roadmap, So here, for the stage and direction, for example, for short term, introduction of mandatory wage pay gap calculation by sectors. So expected effect will be increased wage transparency, detection of hidden inequality, and creation of monitoring baseline. For example, at the medium level, the specific measure was development of work-life balance standards and overtime limits, and the expected effect will be reduced workload imbalance, narrowing gender difference in workload perception. So, and lastly, according to the question Mr. Chapa would have, so here, this question, the polarization in women distribution is not a methodological artifact because the same pattern appears in raw, non-standardized data, so it's not created according to the standardization. Then polarization is also consistent across different indicators like formal employment, informal employment, and the working hours. According to the second question, why did you use this score? So I use this score standardization because my variable come from different measurement, like percentage rate, hours, and occupational shares. So it gives the comparison in order to escape of misleading information. So thank you for your questions.
Okay, did you get answers, all of you, dear committee members? Do you have any additional questions or clarified answer? If not, I have, according to my second and the third question, about the second questions, could you please clarify why have been chosen that countries, Germany, Japan, Scandinavian countries, the first one, and did you get or consider some economical effectiveness of this style, their model?
Thank you. Can you answer that, please? Thank you for your question, Ms. Flora. So, why these countries? Because during the analysis, we identified that they have lowest wage gap between the men and women, and that they have the effective outcome. And for the second question, economic effectiveness, yes, we looked for them and published also the article on this topic.
Okay, thank you. And about the third question, your answer was about your recommendation, to the legislative framework and so on. And I heard that you say you recommend to equal maternity leave. And how you can imagine or how we can do it?
So, thank you. So, for example, during our analysis, we have identified that, for example, in Scandinavian countries, they already practice this equality parental leave. So, firstly, this is option of the men and the women, so they can go to work and say, for example, first I will take 3 months of parental leave, and after that goes also for women, so they can divide the period of getting the parental leave in the job.
But I could do, as I know, maybe I'm not aware in details, in our country we already have this kind of work. By how the question is not that it's possible or not, how will this work according to the men? Because in our mentality, the responsibility of growing up children on the woman, how to do if, for example, the wage is not equal, 26% less than men, how to ask men to go to the maternity leave instead of women.
So I understand your question. So here, first of all, we introduced the roadmap. So, for example, publishing the wages and give the wage audit, for example, to check this instability. So after this period, we suggest that parental leave will be more will be taken more because there will not be a lot of wage change. So this is the first way. And in the second way, so in our job also says that breaking this stereotype should give a woman more growth, not only in the professional life. So here also work is lies on the family level. For example, in decision tree modeling, we say that in order to affect the mentality, it should stand from school and family. So from this side, we should start to say and internalize that caring for the child is not only work of women, but also men can be taking this responsibility.
Okay, thank you very much for your answers. Dear dissertation council members, dear reviewers, do you have additional questions to Erkежан? No, if not, the official discussion about the dissertation is over. The official reviewers gave their positive feedback about the dissertation work of applicant, and we can let's to the move to the discussion. Are there any speakers? You're welcome.
Спасибо, Еркежан, за ваш интересный доклад. Сейчас вот на междисциплинарной теме защищаются, но такую тему я сегодня ознакомилась с диссертацией впервые на такую тему. Значит, вот когда я прочитала электронный вариант вашей диссертации, я, честно говоря, немного не поняла, потому что суть вашей диссертации – это влияние гендерных стереотипов на рынок труда. Обычно, когда мы говорим про рынок труда, мы сразу вспоминаем уравнение Минцера. Уравнение Минцера измеряет, как заработная плата, как на заработную плату индивида влияют такие факторы, как образование, в общем, человеческий капитал, но не учитывает социальные факторы, в том числе гендерные факторы. Потом я поняла, что вот мое первое впечатление было немножко неверным, когда я вчиталась, потому что, чтобы учитывать вот эти факторы социальные, в том числе гендерный фактор, нужно пойти другим путем. Я вот задавала уточняющие вопросы, почему именно семья, школа и так далее, почему вы их рассматриваете. В общем, как я поняла, давайте я вот поделюсь своим мнением. Во-первых, в этой модели за зависимую переменную приняты гибкие навыки. Правильно говорю, да? Да, вот. Значит, гибкие навыки. Почему гибкие навыки? Потому что гибкие навыки – это такой оригинальный подход. Почему гибкие навыки? Потому что гибкие навыки связаны с рынком труда напрямую. Вот сейчас же у вас же не зря идет курс гибкие навыки, soft skills. Все поняли, что наряду с, вот, допустим, два крутых программиста, их нанимают, но тот, у кого больше гибких навыков, он пойдет в топ-менеджмент и так далее, да? Хотя у них hard skills одинаковые, крутой. Вот, то есть оказалось, что в нашем мире, в этом цифровом мире, глобализированном мире, где много контактов, гибкие навыки очень важны. И даже есть исследования, вот, самые топ американские вузы очень провели такое исследование, там среди выпускников через 10 лет проверили средства нашему образованию. И оказалось, что вот эти отличники, они забыли, о чем они вообще, какие формулы учили, там суть теорем забыли. Оказалось, что важны были гибкие навыки для их продвижения. В общем, я думаю, что вот первый плюс этой диссертации, мотивация, в том, что здесь вот, хотя вот вы там написали, в этом научной новизна заключается в том, что вы комбинированно применяете вот эти все методы. Но применить методы, это, думаю, не научная новизна. Научная новизна вашей диссертации в том, что вы как бы впервые, ну, может быть, не впервые, вот такой оригинальный подход, что вы исследуете, как на гибкие навыки влияют вот эти скрытые социальные, гендерные и другие факторы. И причем здесь исследуется, вот как я прочитала, у вас два типа данных, кажется, вот первый тип данных, там 468 наблюдений, да, это анкетирование среди кого? А вот студентов. Да, я так и поняла, что это среди студентов. Там вы их делите на 4 группы, и по уровню осведомленности этих студентов про вот эти навыки, да, про гибкие навыки. И дальше идет уже оценка, как вот эти осведомленность о гибких навыках влияет на вот эту зависимую переменную. Вообще интересный подход. Я подумала, что в смысле, в принципе, был верный подход, наверное, консультанты ваши, это вот, может быть, и вы где-то вот в таких междисциплинарных продвинутых исследованиях посмотрели. Здесь и дисперсионный анализ был, и вот там дерево вы построили, да? Дерево. Вот это дерево есть, графы есть, и потом все диаграммы рассмотрены, и их вот первичный стат-анализ, проведен хороший статистический анализ. И, в принципе, то, что вы предлагаете, вот эти выявленные скрытые навыки, эти расчеты подтверждают. Так, вот первое, что хотелось мне отметить, что оригинальность в том, что вы рассматриваете в качестве индикатора рынка труда владение индивидом гибких навыков. Вот это вот первое, мне хотелось бы отметить. Ну и я думаю, что диссертант проделал очень большую работу, потому что здесь вот данные, здесь титанический труд их обработать, потому что это не такие вот Excel-таблицы. Здесь есть вот категориальные переменные, номинальные переменные. Номинальные, да, там, вот, допустим, какая-то переменная принимает значение 1, 2, 3, 4. Вот эти 4 группы. Но это же не цифры, а это группы, категории. А дальше еще есть по шкале переменные, которые измеряются. Есть еще номинальные переменные. Вот. Их нужно соответствующим образом обработать, затем еще и вот оценить с помощью вот этих методов, тестов, проверить тесты и дальше уже интерпретировать. Вот мне понравилось, что вот такой интересный подход. Проделана большая работа, я поддерживаю докторанта, поддерживаю ее мотивацию сделать вклад, провести междисциплинарные исследования хорошие, очень качественные исследования. Интересный подход. Так. И вот также я еще хотела отметить, что очень был хороший доклад, мне понравился доклад, вот здесь и слайды. Во-первых, вот на первом слайде докторант рассказала контекст этого исследования. В каком контексте используется? Контекст социально-экономический, рынок труда, гендерные стереотипы. Они же влияют, гендерные стереотипы. Мы же мыслим, как вот мы думаем, что мужчины мужественные, а женщины очень мягкие такие. На самом деле не все мужчины могут быть мужественными, и женщины не все мягкими. Это называется гендерный стереотип. И также здесь еще упоминались вот, стеклянный потолок. Кстати, вот здесь класс эскалатор, почему-то он переводит, но я думаю, что это про стеклянный потолок речь идет, да? Стеклянный потолок вот, в гендерных исследованиях. Такие вот теории международные здесь все упоминаются, и проведен такой обширный литературный, систематический обзор литературы. И причем вот после того, как они, вот, докторант обработал анкетные данные, как я поняла, вот здесь есть еще 96-я страница. Там обработаны макропоказатели. Так, макропоказатели касательно рынка труда. И кроме вот этих макропоказателей, как вот я хочу отметить, что еще здесь вот в модели есть такой интересная переменная, как экономическая ценность труда. Вот такую я тоже первый раз читаю, экономическая ценность труда. Интересный подход. Ну, ранее я была знакома с работой, да, вот как вот влияние гендерных стереотипов на рынок труда, но та работа была по психолингвистике. Там вот исследовалась текстовый анализ объявлений и как гендерные стереотипы влияют на то, найдет ли этот кандидат, мужчина или женщина, работу. А здесь вот работа по экономике. В заключение хочу вот еще раз подчеркнуть, что я поддерживаю мотивацию докторанта сделать вклад. Проведена большая интересная работа междисциплинарная. Спасибо за внимание.
Спасибо большое, Екатерина. Thank you very much. Any other revisions, comments, discussion? Yeah, you're welcome.
Я хочу отметить актуальность темы, она востребована, век эмансипации, век цифровизации, и как раз-таки акцент сделан на навыки, востребованная тема не только со стороны научного сообщества, я так думаю, но и востребованная тема со стороны правительства. Они вкладывают сейчас большие деньги для того, чтобы разобраться в этом. Я думаю, что если продвигать вашу работу в дальнейшем, она отклик найдет и со стороны правительства. Отмечу в качестве плюса совмещение социологического и математико-статистического подхода. Они не только взаимодополняют, но и раскрывают саму проблему, подчеркивают важность и значимость той модели, которую вы предлагаете на краткосрочные, среднесрочные и долгосрочные моменты. Хотелось бы отметить, чтобы вы усилили бы, расширили бы факторы в дальнейшем в своих исследованиях и посмотрели на этот аспект не только со стороны социально-экономического, но и со стороны, допустим, демографии, а именно, возможно, со стороны еще и здоровья, в перспективе. Потому что тема очень востребованная и актуальная. Также поддерживаю, удачи желаю вам. Спасибо.
Thank you very much. Do you have something to tell?
Yes, thank you. So first of all, I would like to thank you, the committee members and reviewers, that you spent the time to read and analyze my work. So thank you a lot for the time. And apart from that, I would like to thank you, my consultant, Zakiri Ivana, which really helped and support me at every period. So thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. So thank you to everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. If other members have something to tell, to discuss, you're welcome. Окей.
Можно добавить?
Да, конечно.
Я забыла отметить еще, что здесь в приложении есть описание переменных, кодировка. В общем, если кто-то интересуется, в принципе, он может все найти. Хотя, может быть, не все кодировки есть, вот как вы их видели. Можно было бы их больше привести для понимания. Я, например, вот прочитала эти приложения и постаралась разобраться. Они помогут и другим разобраться, если это в приложении, видите, как главное кодбук уже сделать правильно, понять, что к чему. Так как эта работа, она висит в интернете, кто интересуется, он может найти, просмотреть. А так поддерживаю, хорошая работа, тут много чего полезного есть. Я тут смотрю, изучаю. Спасибо.
Thank you very much. We have completed the discussion of the dissertation work of Еркежан Алтайқызы. We proceed to the next stage of the council meeting. Еркежан Алтайқызы, we would like to ask you to go out. Анель Ахметовна, you also. Анель Ахметовна will not have a vote today as an official consultant and supervisor of the dissertant. And Махпал Сатикуловна, the academic secretary, will take form here, and she will send to your addresses the secret vote, and you will do it through online form, the survey.
Dear members of the Dissertation Council and official reviewers, I have sent it to everyone. Please check and confirm that you got it. You can choose the option from the next options. Recommended awards the degree of Doctor of Philosophy PhD. Send the dissertation for revision. Send it for revision. Recommended refuse to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy PhD. Thank you.
Махпал Сатикуловна will send to each member of the Dissertation Council and official reviewers as well the link to the survey. And there are only 4 options. You have to choose only one option within 4 and get feedback. Уважаемые члены, уважаемые рецензенты, каждому будет направлена ссылка для голосования. Необходимо будет выбрать только один вариант из 4 предложенных и дать нам знать, что вы проголосовали. We cannot see who sent the answers. That's why we just see the number of votes. Okay? Yeah, the first one is recommend this dissertation council and the candidate to PhD degree. The second one to send to revision. The third one is sent to redefense, and the fourth one don't recommend. Refuse the applicant getting a PhD degree. Первый вариант – это рекомендовать диссертационную работу соискателя для присуждения степени PhD. Второй вариант – отправить на доработку. Третий вариант – отправить на повторную защиту. И четвертый вариант не рекомендовать, то есть рекомендовать в отказе. The difference? How many answers do you have? We have 7, but we have to have 8, as Amelia Ahmedovna doesn't have. Okay, we have 8 answers, and I'll give the floor to Mahpal Satikulna. She will show you to the screen the results of our enemy vote. Yeah, we will ask the candidate and the supervisor to come and we'll show the results. Okay, dear dissertation council members, dear applicant, supervisor, reviewers, we have results.
So the secret voting results: 9 votes recommended for award.
Not 9, we have to have 8.
8, sorry, 8 votes recommended for award of Doctor of Philosophy degree. 0 vote recommended refused to award the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. 0 vote submit the dissertation for redefense, and 0 vote submit dissertation for revision. Congratulations, Erkежан.
Thank you very much, Mahpal. We see the results to the screen, where the result is positive, and we support Еркежан Алтайқызы according to the view of board members and reviewers. We see that all good with results. Everyone who sits here is agreed with the votes, and we have to vote to these results. Are you agree with our results? If yes, please hands your up. Okay, thank you. And after our voting, the Dissertation Council of the University of International Business, named after Kенjeәlі in the field of study AD041 Business and Management, has agreed to recommend the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the educational program Economics for Kенжеәлі Еркежан Алтайқызы. Congratulations to Еркежан Алтайқызы and to Amelia Ahmedovna. We wish you good luck in the future, and we hope we'll see many future interesting research works. If anybody would like to talk, you're welcome. Okay, at this meeting, the Dissertation Council for the Defense of the Doctoral Dissertation Еркежан Алтайқызы declared closed. Thank you very much for your time, for attending to today's meeting. Dear colleagues from overseas, dear reviewers, thank you very much. See you soon.
Спасибо большое. Вот, какой-то Видите, да.
Запись.
Рахмет, Кен, рахмет сіздерге.
Запись отключили?
Рахмет.
Вот здесь один академик.
YouTube подключили?
Нет, сейчас
Надо.
завершить.
Ну, она берется и излазит. Да, тут берется и до конца доводит, да? День ночь не спит, до конца.